Chief Deputy Jeff Gromer with the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office for a quick update.
Good morning, and thank you for letting me go first. I appreciate it. Jeff Gromer, I'm the Chief Deputy with the Sheriff's Office. We just wanted to do a release, which I'll send out a written release here later today once we're done. The information on that's basically what I'm going to relay here. It's concerning a traffic crash that happened yesterday morning involving one of our deputies. It was yesterday morning about 4:36 a.m. One of the patrol deputies was parked on the side of Highway 38 on a field approach, completely off the roadway, facing eastbound. So he was just west of the city of Hartford, facing eastbound back toward the city of Hartford. Another vehicle was driving through Hartford westbound. As that vehicle approached the deputy sheriff, it left its lane of travel going completely across the oncoming lane and struck the deputy's patrol car with the deputy sitting in it. I would describe it as a high rate of speed. I don't have an exact speed, but based on the press release I send out, I'll have a photo of the patrol vehicle. Based on the view of that, it was clearly high enough rate of speed. Again, the deputy's vehicle, so it was parked on the south side of the highway, completely off the roadway on the field approach. Hopefully that explanation kind of articulates so you can see envision where it actually happened. The initial information obtained on the scene indicates the driver of the second vehicle was an individual by the name of Kyra Elizabeth Blackbear. She was born in February of 1982. While on scene, investigators located a drug pipe in plain view next to Ms. Blackbear that did field test positive for methamphetamine. They also located marijuana inside the vehicle. During initial conversations with the deputies, Blackbear also told them the last time she'd smoked methamphetamine was yesterday, meaning September 16th, the day previous to the crash. I don't have a time as to when that would have happened. For a little background on her situation, she was, in August of 2024, Blackbear had been sentenced to serve 5 years in the South Dakota Women's Prison for drug charges with 2 years suspended, which would leave 3 years left to serve on those drug charges. That occurred on August 5th of 2024. On June 28th of 2025, she was released on parole. So that individual is currently on parole and was involved in this crash yesterday morning. The crash itself is being investigated by the Highway Patrol, who, once that investigation is completed, they'll be forwarding the information to the state's attorney's office for decisions on charges. Both Blackbear and the deputy involved were transported to the hospital. The deputy was checked at the hospital and he was not admitted. I do not have an update on Kyra Blackbear's stat at this point in time. We have had conversations with the state's attorney's office, who again will be making a decision on charges once the Highway Patrol's investigation is completed. We've also reached out to parole, who's indicated at this point in time there's not been a violation filed, so she's not currently in custody. Obviously those decisions will be made as the case continues to work through. We basically just really wanted to do a press release on this concerning the involvement of the deputy, try to help with some of this. It was a really significant impact.
The deputy parked there.
That happens a lot. Stationary, kind of a stationary patrol function, for lack of a better term. There's not a whole lot going on at 4:30 in the morning.
So just in transition.
Well, he's parked there. He could have been doing reports from previous calls in the morning. When you're working in those environments, a lot of what may or may not be going on when you're driving around, you have no idea what's going on where you're not at. But that's really not that uncommon. That time of day, I mean, speed is always a factor. At 4 o'clock in the morning, there's People tend to be going really fast, and unless they're could be coming home from shifts, but there's a lot of stuff that sometimes goes on at 4 o'clock in the morning that probably shouldn't be, and officers will sit stationary fairly regularly.
Was it considered an official speed check, or was he just parked working?
He was just parked.
So when they're parked stationary, are they buckled? And
Speak to details whether he was seat belted. I would assume
Yeah.
that he was.
Yeah.
All patrol officers spend so much time in a car. Putting that buckle on is almost second nature. I would be very, very surprised if he was not buckled.
was his car on? Or was it like car off?
Oh, it would have been running.
Okay.
This case aside, I mean, there's always so much talk and only so much law enforcement can do about distracted driving, DUIs. Is this just another reminder of, you know, if you're getting behind a vehicle, make sure you're good to be behind a vehicle.
This is beyond a DWI. This is a convicted drug offender, repeated drug offender, on parole, in our community, driving a vehicle at 4:30 in the morning. Obviously, I don't have toxicology reports or blood tests back at this point in time, but there's marijuana and methamphetamine in the car. Obviously, what you stated goes without saying. If you're going to drive a car, you can't be under the influence. We just see this routinely. You hear it from Aaron when he's talking, and there's so many of these cases and it seems to be becoming more and more frequent, that as we deal with them, the offender tends to be on some sort of parole or some sort of other supervision, and that's why we wanted to bring it up. This is continuing to go on. We see it more and more frequently, and from a law enforcement perspective, it's very frustrating. We're seeing these folks, and I spent a number of years managing the jail, so I understand that it's an addiction issue, and these things need to be addressed. But at the same time, it's a public safety issue, and it's becoming very concerning for law enforcement in general, and we hear it day in, day out on the discussions about this prison, the discussions about rehabilitation, the discussions about recidivism, and many of those things.
Was she the registered owner of the vehicle?
I don't know. Anything else? All right. I'll get the paper version sent out here shortly.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks. As far as the log goes, I have nothing really to go over today on the log, but I want to touch on something we've done for a while, is put out a Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week. Every Thursday, unless it's a holiday, we're submitting a Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week to the Crime Stoppers website, which is crimestopperssueempire.com. This is usually just a brief description of the incident, what took place, looking for public's help to help solve the case or provide information that might lead to charges in these matters. If you go to this website, you'll see the Crime of the Week posted at this location. We also put unsolved crime photos on this website as well. Both the unsolved crimes and the Crime of the Week have a convenient submit a tip box right next to it. So I like to stress that if you have some spare time, you want to go through and look through these photos and just maybe take a chance to see if you recognize any of the folks that are posted on these unsolved crime sections. You might be able to help the detective solve a crime. If you submit the tip, it goes directly to the detective. It's all anonymous, as we've stressed in the past. Just wanted to kind of go over, that's something that we've been doing for a while, and it's really benefiting our detectives in solving cases. So the Crime Stoppers phone number is 605-367-7007, or the P3 app is also something you can put on your phone and look through and submit submit tips that way as well. As far as the Crime of the Week this week, it's a burglary report that happened at a business in the industrial park near Delaware Street and F Avenue. This happened after midnight on September 13th, 2025 until 8 a.m. on September 15th, 2025 when the report was filed. An unknown suspect had cut a hole into a Connex box at this location and took a large amount of copper wire. The estimated theft of the copper wire and damage to the property was in excess of $18,500. So not a lot to go on at this point as far as the information I just gave you. So if anybody has any information in reference to that crime or any other, please go to crimestoppersuempire.com, take a look, and see if there's anything you can help out with. So any questions on that? All right. Thanks. Have a good day then.